Yes, my friends, and welcome to the debut episode of the Jon Mahon Show, streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you ever so much for joining us today. And in the studio, of course, my name's Jon Mahon, and sat next to me is my brother in crime, Mr. Oliver Rout. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks, John. Brother in crime, brother in rhyme. We're live for the first time ever.
Yeah, we are. And this has been a long time in the making. Behind the scenes over the last couple of months, Ollie and myself have been sat in this room, figuring stuff out, trying to not let technology get the better of us.
Mostly trying to figure out how these lights behind us will stay standing up for the whole time.
If only you knew.
If only you knew
what was going on behind
how these were
scenes.
attached to the floor.
Well, hopefully this is all working and we've managed to get everything in line and in check.
Honestly, my background's in TV, but I've never done live, so it's all brand new.
It's all brand new to us. Well, a little bit.
We're figuring out as we go along, and you're here for the journey, so thank you for watching us.
Hell yeah.
We really appreciate it.
And a little bit about ourselves. So, as Ollie mentioned, we'll start with Ollie. Ollie, what is your background? You've had a lot of years in television production. Yeah,
because you might be watching this, you might be thinking, who are these people? I don't know why are you tune in, but I'm Ollie. You know Jon Mahon from
The stuff.
So I met Jon probably about 10 years ago.
It's been about a decade.
I'd say 2014. Cast your mind back, John. 2014, imagine us. Young little whippersnappers. I just started at Scuzz TV. If anyone remembers Scuzz, shout out Scuzz. Oh, R.I.P. Scuzz. And I sort of joined the industry. I didn't really have any mates, so I sort of went to loads of events. I was like trying to, like chin wag, just like get to know people. And Jon was one of the first people I ran into in a bar in London. I think it was the Black Heart, actually.
Shout out the Black Heart.
And then, we just became friends, hit it off straight away.
Yeah, we did.
And then fast forward a year, we were looking for a new presenter for Scuzz for Download Festival. And I was like, Joe would be really good. That Jon Mahon guy.
My boy putting my name forward. And that was a hell of a weekend at Download Festival. It was a very fun weekend in terms of some of the content we got to create. We did like a little thing called Jon's Download Diary.
Yep, I still feel kind of bad for that because we didn't really tell you what we were doing. We were just like, Jon, were you up for just going around Download and see what we can get you involved in? So we got, what did we do?
I got married at an inflatable chapel to a ginger man with a massive beard wearing a wedding dress.
Yep.
But
none of this was planned.
None of it was
planned. We just sort of turned up. We were like, "Oh, can we do this with Jon?" And everyone was like, "Yeah."
The gnarliest one was the mechanical bull. I got on this mechanical bull to like intro something. It was like a little cutaway link that we were doing, and I sat on this bull, and then they started it up, and I was trying to ride it, and obviously got flung off within seconds. But as I got flung off, the bull's horn, like slow motion, grazed past the side of my face, and I was like, "That was nearly an eye."
Our HR department were like, "Okay." To be fair, I don't think you ever signed anything, did you?
I didn't, no.
Would have got away with it.
Bit of advice for you there, young whippersnapper journalists. Also, make sure you sign anything before you get on a mechanical bull.
Specifically a mechanical bull.
Specifically the mechanical bull. We have got such an insane first show lined up for you today.
Have indeed.
It is eclectic, to say the least. So, joining us as our first ever live guest in about 25 minutes, fresh off the back of the band scoring their first ever UK #1 album with a kiss for the whole world, Rou Reynolds from Enter Shikari will be our first ever live guest on the show, which is huge. Which is huge. It is absolutely massive considering the band are about to headline Slam Dunk Festival at the end of this month. And speaking of Slammy D, a band that are going to be one of the first on the main stage for that weekend, Vukovi, and Janine is going to be joining us on the show in our
bloody love that band.
What a fucking band.
If you've never heard Vukovi, like which rock have you been living under? But also they are one of the UK's best like rock bands.
Hell yeah.
They've been going for so long now, and I've always backed them. I've always been like a big fan, but it's like it seems now they're starting to get the respect they deserve, I think.
Speaking of Scuzz TV, the first time I met Janine and Hamish was during an interview piece at 2000 Trees that we did. with Scuzz TV.
Well, do you know what? I'll tell her this later, but one of my favorite moments, we did a takeover with them, her and Hamish, and like the outtake reel from that shoot was amazing. It must be somewhere on a hard drive at Sony, but like I wish I had it. It's just so many swears, so many.
An eclectic vocabulary.
Yeah, have you ever seen Vukovi live? Janine has quite a motor mouth. She's a lot of effing and jeffing, isn't she?
Well,
I mean, we're allowed to say
this show's on the internet, then, because you can swear all you want, my friends.
We can effing say this and effing that.
Yeah, we can.
F yeah. Although if this is going on YouTube, we want to monetize it at some point. Not right now, but in the future.
Might have to tone the language.
Keep the fucks to a minimum.
Well, should we get on to some news? What's news is what we're going to call this, because obviously there's news kicking around every
At some point,
day.
we're going to get some sound bites.
Yeah, we'll get some sound bites. We'll get some
At the
little
moment,
effects
we might have to
made.
just make them up on the spot.
But we found out
News.
for the time being, Ollie's just going to be our effects board. I'm just going to press him like
News.
So, our first story. We weren't planning on this being the first story. Our first story, we're actually going to talk about Download and Slam Dunk selling out, which we will do in just a second. But before we went live for our first show today, we were hit with the incredibly sad news that after 27 years soundtracking various different stages of our lives since the year 1996, Sum 41 have been a mainstay in the alternative scene, and they took to their social media platforms earlier to say, being in Sum 41 since 1996 brought some of the best moments of our lives. We are forever grateful to our fans, both old and new, who have supported us in every way. It is hard to articulate the love and respect we have for all of you, and we wanted you to hear this from us first. By the way, I'm dyslexic, so if I ever botch reading anything, blame it on that. But the statement continues to say, Sum 41 will be disbanding. We will still be finishing all of our current upcoming tour dates this year, and we're looking forward to releasing our final album, Heaven X Hell, or Heaven Times Hell, I guess that is, along with a final worldwide headline tour to celebrate. Details will be announced as soon as we have them. For now, we're looking forward to seeing all of you scumfucks on the road, and are excited for what the future will bring for each of us. Thank you for the last 27 years of Sum 41. Man, this hurts. This is heartbreaking, man.
I'd say Sum 41 were one of the first, along with like bands like Linkin Park and like Blink, and they were one of the first to get me into like pop punk and that.
Hell yeah.
Well, it was just like that when All Killer No Filler came out. What was that? 2001?
All Killer No Filler has its birthday today. Today was its birthday.
2003.
Is that what you're saying?
No. Surely it was pre-2003, surely.
I think it was 03. I think it was 20 years
But anyway,
today.
when that album came
find
out,
out?
I remember being just like a little teenager and being like, this is like...
What year are you saying? 741, All Killer No Filler.
I'm saying 2001.
2001. Ding, 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 sir. Try this, man, on rock music trivia.
But I remember buying the CD, and for those who are aware, if you're... back in the day, we used to buy CDs to put in a CD drive.
Got a CD player.
And I used to play it in the kitchen, in the car, just anywhere I had access to a CD player. That was like the soundtrack to many journeys in the car with my parents on holiday.
Well, pop punk was pretty much the first genre of alternative music that I fell in love with. And I've talked about this multiple times in the past before. My journey into rock music began wholeheartedly with Busted. I picked up guitar-based music courtesy of Busted's debut album. And then the journey from that was basically a progression into what influenced Busted. So watching interviews with them, hearing them talking about Green Day and how much of an influence Green Day was. So because of that, obviously Green Day are then like branching out into, your Bowling for Soups, your Sum 41s, your Blink-182s.
But at that time, like Sum 41... to me anyway, they became one of the biggest bands on the planet.
Yeah.
Them, Good Charlotte, like Blink, they were all like in the charts, or like they were, pretty sure like everyone around that time, it was like the new metal thing. Like everyone knew who Sum 41 was. Everyone's heard Fat Lip, regardless of who you are in the world.
Just because I like alternative music doesn't want to hear Fat Lip by Sum 41 at every old club.
That's how big they became. They became a meme 20 years later.
Yeah.
About being overplayed. But I'm still not sick of that song. If that comes on in a club, I don't care.
Oh, dude, it's a beautiful song to mix. Beautiful song. That riff is just straight up energy. And for me, like
I still don't know the exact lyrics, but I just make them up as they go along.
Yeah, everything after strolling through the party like my name is El Nino is an absolute mystery. A couple of beers deep. But the real sad part for me within all of this is the fact that I felt like Sum 41 were amidst a bit of a resurgence. Like headlining Slam Dunk Festival last year? Was it last year? Was it the year before?
Yes, it was last year.
Was it last
I
year?
saw Brown Sound in the guest area, and I wanted to take a picture, but I couldn't build up the courage to do it.
Never be intimidated to ask people for photos, my friends, unless they're like, I think Dave Grohl's always been really open and honest about the fact that, like, if he's with his kid, maybe don't. Like,
If he's with his kid,
like,
just go, get out of here, kid.
yeah, just let a parent be a parent.
Fuck off, kid. I'm trying to get a picture with your dad.
But other than that,
lesson.
I always think that, people should find that kind of stuff endearing if someone has the confidence to come and say, hey, you've really inspired me.
Yeah, as long as
and
you're
you've
not a dick. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick about it. Don't like start grabbing people like, oh, give me a photo.
I mean, it's never happened to me, but you've had it a few times, haven't you?
being asked for
Sometimes Jon Mahon will be out at a gig and people will be like, oh, you Jon Mahon.
It's
Sound like that.
it's
Can I get a photo, please? And John's like, yeah, whatever.
not in the slightest. I'm always up for it. It's a very humbling experience. It's always nice to know that people are
Who are you?
you
You know who I am.
fans of the craft.
Yeah.
But as far as Sum 41 are concerned, man, I think this is a real sad day for just pop punk and alternative music in general. It's never nice to see a band deciding to go, hey, do you know what?
But
We've had our fill, but
to be honest, they've had a good run.
hell of a run.
Hell of a run. And like they've shaped a lot of like people's music, like mine included, people's music tastes. They've shaped like popular culture in a way. Yeah, they like if you started off in a band and did half as much as what Sum 41 have done, you'd probably be happy.
Yeah, you'd be like, cool, that's a very satisfying career. So yeah, best of luck to Sum 41. Hopefully this isn't the end of them musically. Maybe they want to venture out and do different projects, but just on behalf of anyone who's ever been a fan of Sum 41, just want to say thank you ever so much for your services to alternative music. And go on then. Let's talk.
Connie says she's the person that will go up to her friends or go up to someone ask for a photo. So good on you.
Sick. People need friends like that just in case, they need an icebreaker.
Yeah, like there's plenty of times I've met people in the past and I'm like, oh, I should have got a photo.
I've done it for friends before. A friend of mine actually wanted to get a photo with the man who's going to be joining us as our first live guest at Reading Festival. Yeah. A buddy of mine wanted to get a photo with Rou, but like was genuinely like, I can't talk to him. Like I'm that starstruck because this man has written so many songs that like he's like I don't think I'll be able to say anything. And I was like, yeah, no worries, man. I'll go up and break the ice. Just went up and said, excuse me, sorry to interrupt. Could we get a photo?
For the most part, from my experience, most of my like favorite musicians or people that I've met are just nice people.
Yeah.
There's been some exceptions where they've turned out to be dicks. But for the most part, they're all just like normal. They're just people just living their life and they happen to have written some good songs that you like. So like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, 90% of the people like I've spoken to, really nice.
Oh yeah, and I sometimes find as well, you know how you said sometimes you come across, people you're fans of and they maybe haven't been the best on that day. I think especially in our line of work sometimes, when we're there, we got an interview booked in and someone's got to turn up, take time out of their day, have a conversation when, everyone's a human being at the end of the day. Sometimes people are having off days and if someone's then got to go and, sit in a room full of people, be on camera or be on microphone, be on record, it's a lot, especially on a day where you maybe feel like you don't want to get out of bed. Yeah. It's quite a lot to deal with. So
we've had it when it's like we've been the last interview of the day, and it's like you can tell they've just answered the same question all day. And it's like, what inspired you to start making music? Where did you get your band name from? Yeah. Yeah. Shit like that.
Yeah. But, my friends, if Sum 41 do announce anything over in the United Kingdom, I don't think I need to say this.
They
but
said if they're still playing.
yeah, they're going to honour some festivals, and they said in the statement as well, that headline tour to celebrate, which I'm guessing will be an announcement down the line.
They're
So
still doing Slam Dunk Italy and France. Let me have a look.
which one is it? Well, in fact, that's a beautiful segue into the next thing that we're going to be talking about. What we initially planned to kick this show off with, my friends, is just how healthy the UK festival scene is at the moment, because we found out recently that Slam Dunk Festival, both Leeds and Hatfield, at the end of the month, completely sold out, and Download Festival, taking place in June, completely sold out as well. And if this isn't an indication that alternative music is in the healthiest state it has ever been, then I honestly don't know what is. I've been saying since the final announcement came out that this Download Festival lineup is the greatest Download Festival lineup I personally have ever seen. And for me, it comes with the nods to the future. You look at stuff like the Friday, Bring Me the Horizon, getting the chance to headline Download Festival for the first time ever. You look at the Sunday, where obviously you've got one of the GOATs in Slipknot headlining, but then underneath them, you got a band like Parkway. I hope Parkway drive a main support to Slipknot on that Sunday.
Parkway, the annoying thing about Parkway is they have headlined the second stage of Download.
Yeah.
But it was the year Guns N' Roses played, and part of Guns N' Roses' contract, from what I'm aware, was the
No clashes.
no clashes. So, and they played for like 3 hours. So before Guns N' Roses, Parkway Drive headlined the second stage, but they started at like 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So it didn't really feel like a headline set.
Not quite the
it's
same
like-
when they have that amount of fire.
Yeah, if you've got that much pyro and stuff, you want it to be dark.
Yeah.
Whereas they had like all that going off in like
Middle of the afternoon.
yeah, just didn't feel like a headline set.
No. And
Damn Guns N' Roses.
with this opportunity now,
Listen, Axel, if you're watching this,
hey, put the egos down and step away.
your ego is not your amigo.
Oh, look at that. Brother in rhyme. But I genuinely hope that Parkway sit as main support to Slipknot on that Sunday and like have that passing of the torch moment, very similar to what Avenged Sevenfold had at Download Festival. They were main support to someone. I can't remember who they were main support to. I want to say probably Metallica, maybe. They were main support, and then the next year they came back and headlined. And I think that'll be an awesome thing for Parkway Drive, especially with this bonus day of Download on the Thursday night as well. Obviously, you got Metallica being the big name draw for the Thursday, getting people down there nice and early. But if you wanted to use that Thursday to promote
I wasn't as excited for Metallica as most people are, because
I am not a big Metallica.
But I've seen some videos from like the recent tours, like they've been doing like the arena shows, where Architects supported in one of them, which is mad. But it did look like a lot of fun. Like they do a different set every night, and like they play some like of the old stuff that they haven't played for fucking years.
See,
like
for me and Metallica, man, I'm interested in 3 songs. Puppets, not even because of Stranger Things, just because it's one of the few that I know. Sandman, because it's used as like a walkout song for a college football team, and if you've not seen those videos, it's very badass. Like a whole like stadium of college people just singing like da 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 da. And then my favorite Metallica song is "The Memory Remains." You know, "Marian Faithful," where like at the end it's just da 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 da.
I remember the music video. For
banger.
that. It's like an old lady with a music box.
Isn't that Marianne Faithfull?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah, do you know what? That was a tune.
Hell yeah.
The thing is, I like Metallica, but I don't like Metallica as much as other people like Metallica.
Yeah. No, like I'm very much the fact, like I appreciate everything that they've done for like, you know, rock, metal and thrash, but just for me, like it's on the side of metal that I've just never really connected with. But I am grateful for the fact that the second Metallica headline slot on that Thursday has generated a very mouth-watering lineup underneath it as well. Like, you know, bands like Alter Bridge, Five Finger, Hailstorm, all getting big performances. Isn't Mammoth WVH on that day as well?
Yeah.
Eddie's son.
Mammoth, Wolf Van Halen, yep.
Yeah, very excited about that.
Also, like some small acts like Shout Out Mimi Barks.
Yep.
It's like a trap sort of metal.
Big fan of Mimi Barks.
Like Mom Jeans, if you
Yeah.
like your emo pop punk sort of vibes.
Tigress.
Yep. And FVK.
Yeah,
And
let's
mate-
go, Kia.
Let's go, Kia. It's just star of Gordon Ramsay's future food stars or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
shout out
Kia.
Condomaniacs, I do believe,
Yeah.
is the business name. If you're into your sauces and seasonings, go and see what man who is very beautiful. He's a very beautiful man, Kia. Like, he's, like, since FVK started to now, like, he's not changed.
He's not aged.
Like, he hasn't. He might actually be
I was watching
a vampire.
Like, he posted like some highlights from his show, from his appearances on the Gordon Ramsay show. Yeah, he looks younger than he did.
Yeah.
He's aging backwards.
So that was Download Festival selling out. Very excited about what Donington's going to be doing for us. Let's talk about the first festival in our calendar, Slammy D 2023. And
Now officially sold out.
this is officially sold out as well. And this is what I mean. Like, the strength of the rock and metal scene is... The proof is in stuff like the sales. And like, look at this lineup. Every stage you look on, you could spend your entire day on that stage and have a phenomenal time. Like, even going bottom to top, Knotfest stage, bands like Harriet opening up, Escape the Fate, We Came as Romans and Malev. Like, that run alone.
And also shout out Malev for headlining, because they've deserved it for a while, I think.
Oh, it's about damn
Have you
time.
seen them live at any time recently? You'll know what goes off at their sets.
Yeah, if you were at the Bring Me Weekender in Malta, they were one of the most ferocious bands of the entire weekend.
It's just like non-stop, just circle pits, breakdowns, just fucking big mosh moments, and it's just like, and they have the fucking big sing-along bits as well. It's not just balls to the wall metal.
But what I love is when I was chatting to them about their DJ set in Malta, I was like, what you got planned for your DJ set? And they were like, just shitloads of garage.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool.
And like they were rapping as well.
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
Bit of freestyle. And
I
then
said that, I was like, one of my highlights of Malta was their DJ set. Them and Static Dress's DJ set. Static Dress came out and did like, I think it was like Dutch hardcore or like happy hardcore, whatever it is. And like, it was just insanely heavy, but like not heavy as in like metal heavy as in like just pummeling everyone's.
just gabba, just pure gabba. And then what's the next stage? The one with the Main and the Hunter and Swaco on? Is that the Key Club stage?
Yes.
Key Club stage is looking very healthy for me. Jaden, been very interested in seeing Jaden live. Dropped out of Reading Festival last year, I think. So really excited to see one of Travis Barker's proteges. Swaco for me is a must-see at Slammy D this year. Saw Swaco at Reading last year. Amazing set list. Even did the song with Millennium Story of My Life. Kid's got a hell of a fucking scream on him as well. Like, proper.
I've never been acquainted really with
Have you not?
Waco.
I'll
I'll check
educate
him
you.
out. I'll check him out.
I'll educate you. And then moving up the bill on the sort of middle section, the sold out thing is blanking out the names of the stages, so I can't see the names of the stages on it.
Right, try and find one without.
But, oh yeah, there we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. So, you've got, what's the name of that stage? The Amazon Music stage, is it? No, that's the main stage.
Middle one is the Kerrang tent.
The Kerrang tent. Should have known that.
Do you know Kerrang?
Heard of them. So we have got Yellow Card and Creeper as your two headliners on the Kerrang stage. Yellow Card making their return.
Yeah. Last time, so I saw a couple of years ago, I met the singer from Yellow Card at Slam Dunk, and I was like, what are you doing here? I thought you broke up. But he was playing guitar for Newfound Glory
William Ryan Key.
that day, yeah.
Yeah.
Did a shot with him.
Let's go. What was the shot?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Obviously can't remember.
And I tell you what is one of the must-see bands on that section for me. Boston Manor. honestly one of the hardest working bands in modern day music, moving our way up the lineup as well. As you get towards the main stages, you got bands like The Offspring, Less Than Jake, Billy Talent, Paris, Kids in Glass Houses making their return. Vukovi will have Janine on a little bit later to talk about the band opening up in the main stage at Slam Dunk Festival. But my friends,
hopefully, if this works, this is our first time going live with a guest.
it is indeed. We are about to introduce to you the lead singer of a band that recently scored their first ever UK #1 album with a kiss for the whole world. A band that are going to be headlining Slam Dunk Festival 2023. My friends, please welcome to the show our first ever live guest, Mr. Rou Reynolds.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Can anyone hear anyone?
There he is.
How you doing?
Oh, hello, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you guys?
Very good indeed.
Is this all working? This is a very stressful day for us because this is our first ever live stream. So,
it all seems pretty slick to me.
As long as you can hear us.
I can hear you. What more can I ask?
Perfect.
Phenomenal. And Rou, I do believe you are joining us live from New York City.
We are, yeah. Here I am. It's an incredibly sunny day here. In the Big Apple.
You seen any big apples while you've been there?
They're all massive here. They're obnoxiously big here.
Like,
Eating an apple in America is like undertaking a serious mission.
It's like when you order a small and it's just like extra large over here. Everything's just bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a feat. It's an achievement if you manage to do a whole apple in one sitting.
Well, thank you for joining us from the biggest of apples, my friend. And speaking of big, the biggest achievement recently for you and your band and your entire team, scoring your first ever UK #1 album with a kiss for the whole world. And I think I join a lot of Shikari fans in saying this is such a beautiful body of work. My first question to you is actually about the day you found out. Where were you when you got the news that you'd done it? Your album was UK #1.
We were in Heathrow. We were about an hour and a half away from getting on our flight here. So it was the weirdest experience. It was like complete euphoria for like an hour and then like rush to get on our flight, literally for last call. We were last people on the plane because we had to tear ourselves away from, like, some of our team came to the airport basically and we had some champagne and just kind of reveled in it for an hour and then got flown out here where no one gives a flying shit. And that's it. And that was the all the celebrating we really got to do. And since then we've been doing some little underplay shows out here and a load of press. So I'm sort of looking forward to getting back home and like meeting up with everyone, and I think it'll only be then that it like really, sets in.
What I found was so good is like it seemed like because it was quite close between for the #1 spot. I feel like this sort of community all like rallied together to try and get you that #1 spot, because it's like for me it's like historically #1s have been reserved for like pop artists or like the big major label people, but it's like when one of our own gets so close to the top, we all like gather behind it, try and get them there. I think it happened with like Architects a few years ago, where it seemed like a big push just to get them there, because it's like infiltrating the elite.
It is like, and we really felt that. Like I can remember the last few days, especially, like it was just like scrolling on Twitter and, all the like alternative mags and, organizations and blogs and vlogs, and like everyone was just like, supporting. And it was really quite touching for us. We're like, oh my God, we like seem to have been able to like unite the whole scene in some way.
It's a weird thing because you don't really like, I know you probably feel the same. It's like, it's a weird thing putting like ordering like music. It's like saying one thing's better than the other because it sold more, which is a weird thing in general. But I think it's just nice to see like something from our side of the world get to there, because a lot of bands don't even see anywhere near the top 40 really.
Yeah, I've gone through every possible way of thinking about the charts. You know, like as you say, in one aspect, as a concept, it's just ridiculous. Like as a philosophy, you know, art shouldn't, obviously it's just cliche to even say this, but like shouldn't be ordered. And then, you know, I guess the way that you think about it once you you start to get in with a chance at these things is that it is a way of showcasing our world to the broader world.
Hell
And
yeah.
I think our world can often be, and I'm speaking in quite a broad sense, you know, the alternative scene, like metal, hardcore, punk, everything. It can often be quite siloed, and it can be almost like ghettoized, you know, where like the mainstream kind of looks down on it, or like isn't deemed worthy or anything. So it's great when, you know, there are these successes where people manage to raise their head above the kind of underground, if you like, in real mainstream terms, and sort of slam your fist down and go, no, we are here, we are like worthy of this spot, we've got something to say. And yeah, it feels good. And especially because we're a, you know, it's not just alternative music, it's very diverse music. It's not easy to get into.
Yeah.
And we're the only independent release in the top 15. So for an independent label to get number one these days that's a feat in itself.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we were overjoyed.
That's what I was going to say, was this was a massive dub in the column for independence and showing the music industry that, hey, you don't need that major label. You don't need all of these fancy campaigns. What you actually need is a team of people who are operating like a family and a fan base who are so supportive and just so dedicated to seeing a band that they form this affinity with over the years doing well. And it feels like before this record dropped, you almost rewarded those hardcore fans with the residency tour, which I love the idea of. I think that was such a genius concept, picking the same venues in the same cities, going back there over the course of, I think it was 3 months, wasn't it? And dedicating different set lists, different songs, different moments from your band's career that maybe there's one song that a niche crowd really, really like. That's the time for them to go and hear it. Where did the idea for the residency tour come about? Because for me, it's genius and something that I hope more bands take inspiration from.
First of all, we just wanted to do something different, and it's hard to do anything different in the sort of live arena these days. But yeah, we had this idea of it's kind of a nostalgic thing where we used to play tours pretty much consistently up and down the UK. We finish one tour and we'd be straight out on another, either, you know, supporting some other band or it would be some kind of different bill. And so we would be sometimes in the same city 4 weeks later, sometimes in this very same venue 4 weeks later. And we thought we'd quite like to live that life again, where you almost feel like a local band to these cities, that you're just returning and returning. And then even in a more sort of psychological way, we thought it'd be interesting to go back to these venues like 3 times in a short space of time and just see what was different, you know, see how the shows evolved. And obviously we changed the set list slightly, but like other than that, there wasn't a great deal of like anything that we put in to make it consciously different. So it's just interesting when you know, each night there's a slightly different vibe, you know, one song hits in a different way and there's, you know, the atmosphere evolves. So it was just a kind of interesting experiment as well, I think.
Mate, it was System into Meltdown for me. The a cappella intro of System, just like watching you like full Shakespeare mode, like delivering like a bard with a spotlight on you. Like, and what blew my mind as well is obviously that song From a Flash for the Color. It's been out for years. I haven't seen you have that one in the set list for a while. And when you started pointing the finger up and saying, there is a house, everyone in the room, every single word was screaming it at the top of their lungs. Like, what's it like having those songs that now do have a couple of years behind them in your catalogue, still getting that just so heartwarming reception live?
It's amazing, man. You know, that is, for me, the two of the best feelings in the world are like when you're in sync with an audience, very like consciously, and they're echoing the same like passion that you're putting out. Like that's one of the best, and the other one being the thrill of just writing music. I love that as well. So it was for those songs to still seemingly be as provocative and evocative as they ever were. It's amazing.
Hell yeah. And I keep saying it, man, like in the future, I really do hope your words are studied like poetry in the same way that we were taught about poets in school. Because some of the way with words that you have, like intertwining rhymes with like either political messages or like motivational messages or just messages of inspiration, like it's such one of one behavior to see like from a frontman. So honestly, on behalf of the whole Shikari family, just want to say a massive thank you. And also, when did Shikari fans start Seven Nation Armying your band name?
Yeah, I noticed that. We went to the Wolverhampton gig, and that was the thing. I was like,
yeah, that came out of nowhere.
It's been a few years, I think. Yeah, I remember when they were doing it to Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah.
I think it was about the same time that basically people just used Seven Nation Army for everything as a chance.
If it has enough syllables in that it can work. I guess if your name's name's a bit longer, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, or maybe you're just the new Jeremy Corbyn, mate.
Christ.
Well, before we move on from A Kiss of the Whole World, I actually wanted to ask you, because this record is so diverse in terms of its tracks. I mean, like the singles for me are some of the best singles you've ever released as a band. Like It Hurts and Bloodshot, like the start of the synth in Bloodshot feels like something straight out the back of like Darude Sandstorm or like a Faithless track. But I wanted to know, in terms of like your sort of deeper cuts away from the singles, what are some of your favorite moments on this record as the singer-songwriter behind them?
Oh, mate, it's so hard to like single ones out. Like, I mean, it seems to be interesting. Like in the signings that we did during the release week, Jailbreak seemed to be coming out as like a one, like the people that kept mentioning, like, oh, are you going to play that soon? And that for me is an incredibly emotional song. And it was one that I didn't have to fight for, but like I don't think I got my original intention out in the demo. So I was like playing it to the rest of the guys. I remember being a student, I was like, no, I really think this is a contender, but like it has to be on the album. And it took a while to get it right. But that one I can't wait to play live, just because it's going to be such a release. That the song is about how that as human beings we can often think of ourselves as like fixed entities, and therefore it's so hard to progress. Or if there's something you don't like about yourself, you can't really change it. And it's a song that, well, Jailbreak, breaking out of those like those formations of patterns of thought that you can sometimes just repeat to yourself so much that you begin to believe them, and you believe you can't change. And it's so it's hopefully like a really emboldening track. And then I suppose also, I mean, I can't wait to play all of them live, if I'm honest. But I think as well, we were in Japan the other month. Christ, I don't know. It's a whirlwind at the moment. We were in Japan recently, and this was just before the album came out, and it's the first time I'd listened to it in like 2 months. So it felt like kind of fresh. And I was walking back through Tokyo about 2 a.m., sleep deprived, jet lagged. Giant Pacific Octopus, I don't know you anymore. That track as well just like really hit me. And that seems to be going down really well with
the
fans.
The backdrop of Tokyo as well, alongside that song, must have been like...
Yeah. I mean, listening to anything in that backdrop is going to be like euphoric, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
Great. I was going to ask, in terms of like when you're making songs, you have such a range of like electronic stuff going on. Do you use a lot of analog equipment, or are you very much in the box, like plugins and stuff? Do you experiment with like all different synths and
midis,
all that stuff, all that jazz?
Yeah, I try and not have a set way of doing things. Now, of course, there's like synths that I'll go back to. I mean, for us, Massive and Serum are two that we use, which are in the box software wise. But when we did the Spark, I think that's when we really started to expand our world in terms of hardware. I've always been quite loyal to Korg and used a lot of their sequencers and keyboards over the years. But we were exposed to a lot of retro, like 1980s stuff when we were recording that. And so now I have a few bits and pieces that I like to use hardware wise. But I don't like to get like,
I guess it gets tricky when you have to transfer it to live as well. If you have all this like analog sound and then you like have to recreate that live, where it's
exactly. You end up making a lot of work for yourself, having to recreate all the different sounds on via MIDI. Either that or shipping your full hardware synth collection around the world, which is not economically viable. But I try not to get like too comfortable, like set in my ways in terms of like finding sounds, because I always find the best things happen when I feel a bit lost.
Well, that's what
when I'm like a bit out of my depth. Or
it seems like every album you come out with these new like soundings, like
new donks.
Yeah, because I'm like, how like from like the first album when it was very much the sort of like classic, I don't know, EDM synths or whatever. But from then to now, I think like you've had a really good progression of just like experimenting with different sounds. Or
a good few bassline kind of sounds on this new album, like that sort of like modern wave of like Jaws and like the UK bassline scene with like Dark Sea and people like that, like those sort of like offensive, in your face, like kind of synths. Like it seems like you took those kinds of sounds but then like produced them to fit perfectly within the guitars, like especially like on the opening track, like A Kiss to the Whole World, like when that first little like drop comes in, like
I love that riff.
It's such a great opener.
Sick, thank you. It's just all about experimentation for me, because that's when it's exciting. Like if you're using the same synths, the same sounds over and over again, you're not going to feel inspired. So it's good to be always on the sort of the edge of your comfort zone or your knowledge, and it's those moments where you feel a bit lost, where you're not thinking about what you're playing, you're not going through the motions. It all feels a bit new, and that's when it just feels authentically exciting.
Hell yeah. And the benefit of this show being live as well is we're getting comments in already, and Charis just said, so excited to see Shikari at Slam Dunk. They're the best live band I've ever seen. And I think there's a lot of people who echo that statement.
Tasman says Jailbreak is a masterpiece. So her words.
Oh, thank you. Lovely people.
And speaking of live shows, I was fortunate enough to go 3 for 3 on your residency takeover tour. And I know we're all focused on new music and you're going to be so sick of this question, but one of the biggest pops you're getting live at the moment is this drum and bass remix of Sorry You're Not a Winner, especially with the way those lasers drop on that drop. Like, it is filth. And I've heard you in interviews say, like, obviously, Kiss the Whole World has been like your main focus, and with this happening over the summer, it kind of like, it was just more of like a live treat than anything else. And I know you've said that there's no plans to drop the actual physical release, but I think at some point, with how much people are enjoying it, at some point someone's going to complain enough to be like, hey, I need this in my Spotify playlist.
I mean, yeah, I don't really know what's happened. Like I've been talking to Pendulum for a while, and every time they were sort of ready to go, we were like too busy, and every time they were ready to go, they were too busy. I don't know. At the moment, there's no plans for it to be released. We'd be up for it. And what we've gone and done for the quickfire round now is basically remix their remix of it.
Yeah. Well, when you dropped it, when they played, we've lost him. Live. Just wait for him to come back. Hopefully he comes back.
There he is. There he is.
Yeah, we're back.
I don't know what happened
there. The beauty of live.
I was just like, I've had enough.
Yeah, he asked about the Pendulum remix. That's it. I'm done.
I specifically told them not to ask for them.
But when you dropped it, you dropped it at Reading. I've watched that live video back so many times. It's just incredible. I think because no one was really expecting it, because it was a surprise set
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Pendulum anyway. So when you came out, everyone was
Double surprise.
yeah, and was like, "What the fuck?"
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was like it's weird, really, that we've never really, well, we certainly never toured together, but we haven't played that many like festivals together, or when we have, we've been on separate days and we haven't been able to hang out much.
Reading
I've known
2020,
Gareth for a while.
Reading 2010 was one. It was You Into Them. I do remember that.
Yes. Oh wow.
2010.
Yeah.
Damn, the memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was probably one of the only times. So like, it was just really nice to hang out with them. And yeah, I mean the track, yeah, obviously it's just a banger.
Yeah, it is.
And I remember when they got in touch, and I was like, oh wow, what have they done to this? How have they like? Yeah. But yeah, it's sick. But yeah, hopefully it'll happen at some point. But you know, they're just embarking at the beginning of their new campaign and everything, so everything's wild at the moment. But I think what I'd like to do more than anything is like actually do a new tune with them, like to collaborate on something new. So yeah, that would be my goal.
Yeah.
I'm not ready. I'm gonna need like 2 months warning before that drops, just so I can mentally prepare for what my ear's about to receive. Well, for the time being, I'm more than happy for the Sorry You're Not a Winner Pendulum remix to be a cheeky little live treat, because it sounds so good in that quick fire round.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's a joy. It's interesting playing it out here because like drum and bass it doesn't have the history that you know that we have with it in the UK. So I think there's a lot of people like, wait, they're playing Sorry or Not, but it's like,
Oh yeah,
it's like weird.
Sounds slower.
Yeah.
Oh, well, speaking of live shows, Rou, you are one of the only bands, I do believe, that have been invited to headline Slam Dunk Festival twice in the festival's history. I don't think there's another repeat headliner at Slam Dunk.
No.
So I think
correct.
Okay.
I think this is a first time. Your first time at Slam Dunk Festival headliner was 2017.
That was the 10 year.
Yeah,
10 year
take to
anniversary.
the Sky 10-year
I was
anniversary.
going to
Yeah.
say 20 years, but you're not.
So going into this year's Slam Dunk Festival, obviously with a new record under your belt as well, in terms of the Shikari production, I'm guessing like production plans have all been sorted and set list is all lined up and that kind of stuff.
Well, you'd think. wouldn't you?
It's only 20 days away. Don't worry about it.
So in terms of the new material, I mean, like, are there? You mentioned Jailbreak. Is that one that we're potentially going to be hearing at Slam Dunk? Do you reckon?
I don't know. Like it's basically all we're thinking about at the moment. It's going to be our most ambitious set ever. You know, it'll be a completely new production setup, completely new show. But in terms of what other tracks we're going to play off the new album, I'm not sure. We might save like the deeper cuts for the tour.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like the singles are like going down so well, and they're such a joy to play. And there's 4 of them. So once you go over that, the sets becomes like quite saturated with new stuff, and like we definitely want to make it seem, you know, varied, and we want to like at least have a one track from every album. Set lists are just the worst these days. You know, like picking a set list when you've got 7 albums, it's so difficult. So there'll be a few more fights yet before we settle on something.
I'm
The thing
excited.
is, you can't please everyone. There's always
Yeah.
going to be people like, oh, why didn't you play so and so?
Exactly. Yeah.
I was just stoked to see
sure.
Zonked back in the set list on the residency
yeah.
tour. That went down like an absolute treat. Well, speaking of that weekend, you're also nominated for 2 Heavy Music Awards, which is an evening that you've attended a good few times in the past. You are nominated for Best UK Live Artist and Best Single as well, with The Void Stares Back. And with Slam Dunk weekend being the same weekend, are you going to have time to like quickly nip to do an award show? Or is it going to be all focused on Slammy D?
Hopefully, yeah. We'll be in production rehearsals, so if all goes well, we'll sneak away early and leave everyone else to pack everything down.
Sick.
And yeah, head to the award ceremony. But I mean, I'll have to be on my best behavior because I can't be waking up after a skin
yeah.
fall on the day of Slam Dunk.
No G&Ts.
Yeah, but no, it'll be a wicked night. Where it's where is it this year? It's
Wembley.
gone up
Wembley.
again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nuts. So yeah, I'm sure that'll be a fun night.
Hell yeah.
Shout out HMAs.
Yeah. Well, Rou, thank you ever so much for your time today, my friend. We really do appreciate it. Our first ever live guest on the show, and like we can't thank you enough, especially considering you're in New York City at the moment.
Our first international guest.
Yeah.
It's
Technically.
absolute pleasure. No, thank you for having me.
And before we say goodbye, I did email you about this earlier. This was the vinyl that I bought to support you guys in your chase for the #1 album. But just as a way of saying thank you to any Shikari fans right now, I'd love to give this vinyl away after having you on the show. So I do believe you were asked to prepare a question.
Yeah.
To give
Well, I
away
wanted
the
to
vinyl.
ask you, like, how hard do you think it should be?
Yeah, this is your body of work, my friend. Like you can deem how difficult the
Is it gonna
challenge
be
should be.
A Shikari based question or just Eddie? Just general knowledge.
Yeah. Well, we came up with a few, and then so I'll go for like maybe the middle difficulty level. Which song on the album is influenced both musically and thematically by Beethoven?
Oh, what a question. Well, my friends, we are going to take that clip of Rou asking that question. We'll be posting it on Twitter and on Instagram. If you know the answer to that question, once that post goes up, all you got to do is just reply with the answer. A winner will be picked out at random, and we'll announce it on our next show on Thursday. But
Putting it in the chat now. I'm hoping I'm spelling Beethoven right. It's like Beethoven, isn't it?
Yeah.
But mate, thank you ever so much for your time and the stories. We can't tell you enough how much we appreciate it. And best of luck with your show tomorrow, or is it Wednesday in New York?
Wednesday, yeah. We got press today, and I think we've got a little bit more tomorrow. But hopefully, we're going to just hang out in Brooklyn and get some rest and recuperation done. Yeah, and then Wednesday is the show, which we're thoroughly looking forward to.
Hell yeah. Well, we will see you at the Heavy Music Awards and Slam Dunk Festival 2023, my friends. Rou Reynolds from Enter Shikari!
Round of applause. Woo. Cheers, Rou. Have a good day.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Take care.
Oh, that was absolutely wonderful. First interview on the show, done and dusted.
Yeah. What a lovely man he is. Like we were saying before when you were saying about someone asking for a photo, he's just like one of the nicest people you could talk to, really. I remember like just being at like a festival or a gig and like just looking around, and in the crowd is like Rou's there. He loves to just go to places as like a fan of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's Rou.
Yeah, just
Even though he's in like one of the biggest bands in the UK.
yeah,
It's just like he just turns up.
just hanging out, having a good time. And I am very excited about the fact that anytime Enter Shikari say brand new show, like anytime those words go out their mouth, you know they're going to do something special. You know that you're in for an absolute treat. So usually at this point, I would say like get yourself a ticket to Slam Dunk, but you can't because it's sold out. So anyone who does have that Slam Dunk ticket, sounds like it's a pretty big golden ticket. And
Just to recap on the competition that we just
yes.
won. So the question was, which song on the new album is inspired thematically and musically by Beethoven? And you need to, where do you send your answers to, John?
So what we're going to do is we're going to take, after the show finishes, we're going to take that clip of Rou asking the question. We'll pop it on Twitter. We'll pop it on Instagram. And
Obviously, if you're watching this now, you've got an advantage.
got a bit of an advantage. You can do some homework. So as soon as that clip goes up on Instagram and Twitter, all you got to do is reply with the answer. We'd appreciate it if you liked it or shared it. Might help you, might not. We don't know. But either way, this is what you will win if you guess correctly. A winner shall be selected at random, and you've got until 7 p.m. this Thursday to answer the question, because as soon as we go live at 8 p.m, we'll announce the winner on Thursday. So yeah, my friends, if you fancy getting your hands on the brand new Enter Shikari record on vinyl, which is signed as well, then keep your eyes and ears peeled on our social media accounts, which is at Jon Mahon Show on either Instagram or Twitter. But that is it for the first hour of today's show. We're going to take a very quick break, and inside hour 2 we will be joined by Janine from Vukovi ahead of the band's performance at Slam Dunk Festival. They'll be one of the first on the main stage, sharing the stage with Enter Shikari, but they'll also be performing at this year's Heavy Music Awards, where they are nominated for fucking 5 awards. 5 awards. If you are in any sort of doubt that this band are one of the hottest bands on the planet right now, 5, count them, Booker T style, 5-time HMA nominated artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
I love Janine as well. She's, if we had a counter, we'd have like a
swear counter.
Swear counter that would come up. So,
we need that.
I imagine she's going to drop a few F-bombs during the interview, but
I'll be disappointed.
Look forward
if
to
she
that.
doesn't. Yes, my friends. So grab yourself a drink, nip to the toilet if you need to, and we will be back in just under 5 minutes for hour 2 of the first ever Jon Mahon Show.
Wow.
Powered by Forever Loud.
Yes.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
My friends, welcome back to hour 2 of the Jon Mahon Show, our debut live show happening across YouTube and Twitch. Thank you ever so much for joining us. In hour 1, we had our first guest, Mr. Rou Reynolds from Enter Shikari. In hour 2, we will have our second guest, Janine from Vukovi. But first, I want to tell you about something really awesome that is going to be happening on our next show on Thursday. If you notice, I am wearing a beautiful scythe, courtesy of Parabellum London, one of the hottest up-and-coming merch providers in the world of alternative music. And Parabellum very kindly this Thursday is going to be hooking us up with a giveaway on this show. So make sure you're listening on Thursday if you would like a chance at winning a beautiful piece of jewelry courtesy of our boy Parabellum. And to show you exactly what you could be in with a chance of winning, here is a beautifully pre-made advertisement.
Say goodbye.
So as mentioned, my friends, this Thursday we will be giving away a wonderful piece of jewelry courtesy of our boy Parabellum.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
It is
Great craftsmanship. I know nothing about jewelry,
phenomenal handymanship.
but it looks, look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Bang. We haven't got a Zoom function just yet. We're gonna do a few more streams before we get all fancy like that. But my friends, thank you ever so much for joining us on our debut live stream. My name's Jon Mahon. This is producer Ollie. We are powered by Forever Loud.
If you've just joined us, well, you've missed out, haven't you?
You've really fucking missed out. We were joined in hour 1 by Rou Reynolds of Enter Shikari. And if you missed that interview, do not fear, because tomorrow the full interview will be uploaded to the Jon Mahon Show YouTube channel. And in actual fact, now's a probably good time to tell you about how we're going to work this shit in the future. So, because this first one has been just bundles of excitement to put together and want as many people to see it as possible. We're going to be uploading the first episode, this episode, onto the Jon Mahon Show YouTube channel in full as is. And then all future episodes in full will be on our Patreon. But
They'll all be live, so if you tune in live, you get to see it.
yeah, if you tune in live, you'll get to watch the whole thing. The episodes will be on Patreon in the future, other than the first one, the full episodes. But the interviews, the clips, the music news, the reactions, all of that stuff will be on our YouTube channel. So we will have more information regarding that on Thursday, but all you need to know is that if you did miss anything from today's stream, you will be able to watch it on the Jon Mahon Show YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed and your notifications are turned on so you never miss us when we go live. Because if you do miss the live stream, you might miss out on some pretty cool shit. Some cool shit like Rou Reynolds joining us in hour one to talk about their brand new record, A Kiss for the Whole World. And joining us in hour two of today's show.
I don't know if she's there because I heard a little cough.
I heard a cough
just then,
which does show signs of life coming.
It came from a female sounding voice.
It did. It was a
I don't think
Scottish sounding cough,
I don't think it was me or you.
and it almost sounded like it had a swear word in it. And I don't know how you can cough with a swear word in it, but if there was a way to do it, our next guest has probably figured out a way to do it.
But we can't see our next guest so just yet on screen. But we could hear her.
We can hear them like hiding in the shadows.
Is she there, Janine?
Janine.
There?
I am there. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We
but
can
we
hear
can't
you,
see you.
but we can't see you. Is your video
I'm
turned
gonna put
on?
my video on. Hello.
Okay.
Right, let's go.
1 second.
Let's
Let
do our intro.
Shall I do a little introduction? Should we make this a little bit professional? I'll stand up for this. Right then, my friends. Joining us on the show next, we have a band that not only are going to be one of the first on the main stage at this year's Slam Dunk Festival, not only are they performing at the Heavy Music Awards this year as one of your live artists, but they are also nominated for not one, not two, not three, but five-time nominees at the Heavy Music Awards 2023. My friends, show a lot of love and appreciation for Janine from Vukovi.
Hello.
John's just blowing up our microphones.
There we go. How was that for an intro?
That was so awkward, wasn't it?
You can get a noise complaint.
I'm like, I'm so glad. Like, as soon as I pressed the link, it just came straight to you guys, and I was like, oh my god, am I live? Is this live?
Luckily, I could sort of see you. Well, I could see your name. I could hear you, but you weren't live on the stream. So
Could you imagine, like, I said something really fucked
Imagine
up,
you
or,
just-
like, was on a phone call? Like, do you know what I mean?
I've got
Never know.
Got to go on this fucking Jon Mahon show. I'm sick. Oh, fuck.
I've just cancelled myself.
What a bunch of cunts. Am I allowed to say that?
Well, we can swear on here all we want, Janine, which is probably music to your ears that you don't have to edit yourself. How the fuck are you doing, my friend?
How the fudge are you doing?
How the fudge? I'm good. Is my what's the word? Am I like in time and all that?
Yeah.
Have I set this up right?
Yeah.
You-
you
perfect.
Sound perfect.
I'm class, aren't I? I'm so class.
First time.
Honestly, this has been the most stressful thing for me to set up a live stream, but we're doing it. So
Ollie's like a swan at the moment, graceful as fuck on the surface level, but his feet underneath
I
are just going.
have an absolute breakdown in the background.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
where are
It's
you?
been
Where
a
are you
bit of a
now?
mad few months. Been a bit of a wild few months. Had a lot of changes and life changes, and I think there's just a lot of existential crisis going on right now with everyone I'm speaking to.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Don't know why that is. Obviously,
Time is an
something-
evil mistress, and we're all just heading towards impending doom. But we gloss over it with shit like this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Aye, just make a joke. Just make a joke and walk on.
We're all gonna die.
Well, it is so wonderful to have you on our debut show. Thank you ever so much for taking the time out. And you said big changes just then. I mean, if it's not too much of an intense question, what kind of big changes have we been talking about recently?
Well, we we've moved changed up our team.
Okay.
We've actually moved to 5B management,
Awesome.
which has been a great move for us, and I feel like it was something that kind of organically happened, and it is the best decision we have made. So that's been a big change.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're signing a new deal, but I can't tell you who it's with yet. But yeah,
Let's fucking go.
a new album deal.
Do you know what Joe and bands are like? Big things coming. That you have big.
No, I know. I don't.
Big
I was
things
like,
in the
I'm
works.
big things coming, but I can't tell you anything really. It's really mysterious.
Oh, well, we won't try and pry anything out of you that you don't want to share just yet. But what we will happily talk about is the fact that you're nominated for 5 Heavy Music Awards, which is the perfect testament to how hard yourself and Hamish have been working over the years to turn Vukovi into the well-oiled machine that it is now. You're up for Best Album with Nula. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? Is it Nula?
Nila.
Nula, sweet. Best UK Artist, Best Live UK Artist, Best Production, and Best Album Artwork as well. And considering all of these awards are fan voted and industry compilated, like, how awesome is it to be at this stage in your music making career and to be getting this level of recognition across the board?
I mean, it's just been honestly. Obviously, it's amazing, but I just think me and Hamish are a wee bit overwhelmed by it because it's we'd never been nominated for anything before. We hadn't even been nominated for HMA in the past, and it was oh, here's 5, and I'm like, all right, don't do things in small doses. So, I mean, obviously, it is a great feeling because you do feel seen and you feel heard and you feel like you deserve to be here, and that all your hard work is starting to pay off in terms of recognition. But I honestly think we've just been trying to kind of get our heads around it. But also, I think because there has been a lot of changes to the team and we've been writing a lot lately. There's new music coming very soon. Very, very soon.
Slam dunk soon.
Not slammied soon.
Okay.
Oh, I just got it slammy.
Slammy.
God. I love it. Every time I'm like, see it slam spunk or see it slammy or see it slam dog.
Slam drunk is another one.
Slam
Slam spunk.
Slam spunk.
Oh, I thought you said slam spunk. Slam spunk's a good one.
That's what we're going to be calling it at the end of May.
Slammy spunk.
Spunk holiday weekend.
Oh God.
It's going to be not too far after Slammy D.
Tasman says, I'm sure you'll get this award for worst footwear, which I assume is
For Hamish.
directed at Hamish.
No, I'm going to be honest, Hamish doesn't wear Crocs anymore.
Well, he had this whole thing and it's like, they're not Crocs, they're Vans, but they look like Crocs.
They're still birth control, so I think they can be counted as Crocs. No, he doesn't actually wear them anymore. I think he has actually broke his virginity. I think that is maybe why, but we'll see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, if you end up
up.
clearing up 5 HMAs, all 5, if you take all 5 home, I'm going to buy him a commemorative pair of Crocs to mark the occasion.
Don't you dare. I think so I think, sorry, that I was trying to make a point and I just totally went in a big segue there.
We
But
probably derailed it.
Yeah.
oh man, I'm so bad for it. I think I do think it's quite easy to just get completely consumed by something like that, like being nominated for 5 and focusing on that too much because it's unbelievably amazing. But I think as us as a band, we've always been like, what's next? What's going forward? Like writing new music. Like we want to make our music the best it can be. It represents us the best.
Hell yeah.
And it evolves with us. So.
Well, we were talking before, and I was saying I've been a fan of your band for many years now.
So long.
I was gonna say it must have been 2015 because people don't know I used to work at Scuzz, and that was the first time I ever heard Vukovi. We got sent I think it was the Boy George video, and I was like, "Who is this band? They're like amazing." And I've always thought that you should be where you are now like throughout the years, but it seems like now you're actually getting the recognition that you have deserved for a long time.
I mean, it's been a bit of a cunt of a ride, to be honest. I've got to be honest. Quite frustrating at times, but
you've been through the ringer, like
but we all have. But I think I think we've learned so much, obviously, for doing this so long, and like, I honestly, I know it sounds really cliche, but I just think like if you believe that you should be doing this, this is what you're put on this earth to do.
Hell yeah,
do it. Like as long as it takes. Like obviously, fucking within reason, but like I think if you believe it yourself, then it will happen, and you put the work in, and you're open to improving and learning and being unbelievably resilient.
I think because that's the thing. I think so many people, not even just in music or just in life, if something goes bad, they're like so quick to throw in the towel. Like, oh, I'm done, I'm out. But
I say it all the time. I'm like, fuck this is shite. What am I doing?
One of the
Every time.
One of the metaphor, like the things I saw the other day was like the best shot in golf that Tiger Woods ever did, which is like one of his most famous shots, got a big hole in one or whatever it was. But the shot he did before that was one of his worst shots. So the reason he got his best shot was because he had to make the bad shot in order to...
He had to be shit in order to be great.
He had to make this terrible shot in order to make the great shot. So it's like...
And on the back of that as well, one of my favorite, like, you know, cheesy cliche motivational sayings is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And like
trying to do the maths.
Yeah,
exactly. And sometimes, you know, those shots miss. Sometimes you do have to throw in a holy amount of shit at the wall before something sticks. But in a band setup, and especially the setup that you and Hamish have formed, I think on a day where one of you might not be at 100%, your dynamic feels like the other person's there being like, all right, come on, dickhead. Like, yeah, I get it.
100%.
Yeah, I feel where you're coming from, but this is a team. I got you today, and on a day where I'm not feeling it, you'll pick up my slack as well. How important has that been for you getting to this point, having a brother in Hamish?
Oh my God. Honestly, like the amount of fucking, like, I think because we are so close, literally best friends, like we talk to each other all the time because we're doing this, we're in it, we're balls deep, and like literally there's no going back. But like I think you have to be able to respect each other and what they bring to Vukovi, and I think me and Hamish have always been like that. Like when we did first meet, like we've always had very similar styles and views, but also we have our own uniqueness, I suppose, and I think that comes with a lot of, we have different life experiences. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just...
Well, to me, Hamish seems like the most sort of chill person you could work with.
I mean, to be fair, like he literally likes everyone. Like it gets quite annoying, honest. Like he literally
come on, you hate someone.
He literally sees the best in everyone. Like, you can just say he's a cunt. Just say he's a cunt. We all know he's a cunt.
He's like, well, Hitler had some nice qualities.
I know. He might draw that line. I think he draws a line at Hitler, to be fair, but I think it's like a yin and yang thing, because like sometimes I just get really like, I blow off the handle and I get like really angry dead quickly, and I just get raging for no reason, and he's like the calm one, and like, let's think about this logically, and sort of it's in
just
a counteract.
He brings you down to like
my rage, but I'm definitely a lot better now. I think it just, I don't know, it just sort of worked. I don't know. Do you know what? I've never been in another band, so I don't know.
Have you thrown any crocs at him?
Excuse me?
Have you thrown any crocs at Hamish?
I mean, every time he would wear crocs, I'd put them in the bin when he was
when he's sound checking and he's being a bit too loud. It's like, get the croc and just like bat him around the back of the head. Maybe not physical violence, but close, very close. But one thing that I did want to talk to you about, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn that I had a conversation with you prior to Nula coming out, that you said that it was or you didn't want to use the word concept album, but you said that the album had concepts behind it and almost like a theme or like a storyline. And for people who, they might be discovering you at Slam Dunk at the end of the month for the first time, or they might be hearing about you at the HMAs for the first time. And with this record getting spotlighted so hard at the HMAs, like if you wouldn't mind just telling a little bit of the backstory behind this album.
So I suppose I think over lockdown, I just went in a mad sci-fi rabbit hole. And that's something that I was highly involved in when I was younger. That was my escapism, was sci-fi movies mostly. And the whole sort of concept of the album is like a colony ship leaving the moon to Mars. It's the first colony ship going to Mars because the Earth is fucked, basically. But it's in the Sanctity Corporation. This is like a big sort of capitalism organization. I suppose you could say like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos style company. And that is going, that the whole, so the start of the album is basically the colony ship is leaving. This is it. It's going for it's a new start to Mars. But I'm writing a book alongside it.
Damn.
Yeah, so I don't want to give too much of the story away, but it's something that, again, I've always wanted to do. And I did write a lot of it over lockdown, and then I'm co-writing with another amazing writer, and she's also a scientist.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah, she's crazy. She's ridiculous. And it's been so nice to just working with her and sort of creating this universe. Because the whole idea of Nuala was an alien that was discovered on the first trip to Mars.
Is that actual, like that's an actual thing?
Yeah, this is in the story.
Okay,
No,
sick.
John,
So
John was saying, has that actually happened in real life?
Did I miss?
No, I mean, when you first imagine it, I'm like, that's happened.
Breaking news.
Tom DeLonge was right.
And everyone's like, no, I don't think that's real. And I'm like, that happened in real life.
The government's just covering it up, isn't they?
Just totally gaslighting folk into believing that it actually happened.
Right. So Nuala's the first alien they discover.
Yeah, so they discover this being on Mars, and this is like, so just imagine the first landing of the moon. It's basically fast forward in the future. It's the first landing of Mars. It's all like getting live streamed and all that shit. And Sanctity Corps come across this alien who's a child, and they're just like, how the fuck can she survive on this planet? Like, we could literally use her as a resource, exploit her, so that we can get humans to live on Mars. So there's a bit of a horrific scene, and then they kidnap her. And then it's like 20 years later, I think it's 20 or 15 years later in the book. And this is when it's the colony ship is now going to Mars. Now Nuala is on the ship, but she's older now, and she almost breaks free.
See, I'm invested.
I'm so invested. I
want this book.
I literally watched.
I'm so happy. By the way, I never talk about it because I actually, you know what? It's a total confidence thing. Like, I just sometimes think like, oh, am I just talking pure shite? But it's actually quite nice to talk about it.
The thing is, when you're describing it, I can sort of picture it in my head. I can see the characters. I can.
Oh well, it's I've got like there's going to be like some graphics with it, and obviously like in the future, I want it to be a film or a series.
Yeah,
sell to Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. That's the dream. That is the dream. But
well, Gerard Way did it with
Umbrella Academy.
I know. Like Gerald, but that would be sick. Like. So that the kind of there's a bit in the album where it's like the kind of, I don't know, it's like an instrumental break, and then this is sort of meant to be like the turning point when Nuala sort of breaks free.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I suppose it is a concept album. Like I just, yeah, and there's I don't know anyone's noticed this, but there is Morse code planted throughout the album as well.
What, as in actual?
As in like
Morse code, real Morse code,
really?
yeah. There's little messages.
A nice little Easter egg.
Little, I'm trying to like pure think ahead of the book, so like it's just all these little bits that I think.
do you know what? I love it when bands do that.
Same.
Like,
I was just about to say, as a massive 21 Pilots fan,
Yeah,
like
they've got
they, on the Blurry Face record, they created the demon law with the bishops, and I like it got so much that like I, as a dyslexic with undiagnosed ADHD, my brain at one point was just like, ah! But like with ideas like this, I've said it for the longest period of time, is that like bands with ideas need people believing in those ideas, because these are some of the most unbelievably creative people on the planet who have the capability of combining melodies with ideas and combining the two. And you look at films have always had soundtracks, and those soundtracks have always hit at certain emotional moments to combine with what you're reading, what you're seeing, or what you're watching. Why can't it work the other way around, where the music tells a story with the visuals?
100%. Like, I think personally, there's not enough theatre in music just now. There's not enough theatre.
100%.
Like, I'm not gonna sit and trash talk fucking the music industry now and say it's bland, but it is pretty bland.
I think
Like, obviously, I'm a massive music lover. I have got so many bands that I love and artists that I love, but I just think like it's escapism. Music's escapism.
That's what
like,
people buy into as well.
What did you say? Sorry.
That's what people buy into as well. Like, if you have like a strong like,
Don't break like this illusion. It's like
Yeah.
you artists. I feel like artists. Sometimes I feel like artists give away too much nowadays, and it's like you don't have to give everything away to people. Like, you give people what you want them to see, and you want people to have if you want people to have an illusion of it. Obviously, you don't. If that's not the way you want your art to be seen as, that's fine. But I just think people want that escape. They want an
100%.
illusion. They want theatre.
Yep.
They want, and yeah, then I think movies and soundtracks is the perfect example. And yeah,
And as you just said as well, I feel like when fans fall in love with bands, they go hunting for lore, they go hunting for Easter eggs, they go hunting for storylines, and you turning around then and saying that there's some fucking Morse code in that record. Like, I hope when we start clipping this
I've
interview
never said that
and
before. I'm an
posting
absolute
it,
mate.
I hope there's some Vukovi fans out there like, fuck, after this stream's done, I'm gonna sit there and like try and like figure out like where it is. I might even study Morse code.
It's like your dad sells Avon or something stupid. No, it's not. It's actually not.
everyone who's watching this after this, just whack on Nula, try and listen to some random.
As
dots.
if we need excuses to stream Nola.
Is it literally just like? Do?
Yeah, so I
that.
think we put some in. I think there's 2 songs it's in, and it's yeah.
That's fucking
Yeah.
Thing is, you could write like
cool.
a breakdown in Morse code, couldn't you? It's like kick drums is like. There's a little idea for you.
But actually, so when we did like the planetarium, we did our album launch in a planetarium,
yeah.
and we got like this incredible animator to do visuals as well, and it was all in like 360, like what do you call it? It was like such a special moment in my life. I'm gonna be honest, because put so much work into it, and like the whole like visuals. He works for this really amazing gaming company. He did some stuff on Love, Death, Robots, and Scottish guy, and who's called Scott York. I'm gonna just give him a shout out. And he like with the whole like start with, again, it's like this sort of lift off, and like it's like this feeling in the air that there's a new start, and the ship, and yeah.
Sounds amazing.
I think like for me, like when I said at the start of the year, I was like, Hamish was like, we should do it in like a planetarium and all that, and do this stuff, and Hamish is just like, absolutely, let's fucking do it. So just seeing, we sold out in 45 minutes, like, and we could have done probably 3 nights, but I just like didn't believe in ourselves enough, I suppose. But like just that whole night was so life affirming for me, like experiencing our album with visuals and getting a handful of fans to give them that immersive experience.
Is there any way you could like release that in like VR or something, or like?
We probably could, to be honest. Like, we have all the footage. I never thought about that. Like, we could probably do it on our YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that. But yeah, that's
Janine, that's fucking
story.
awesome. Like, genuinely, I'm so glad I asked that question because like, I wasn't.
No, so I didn't know what you were going to ask me tonight, so I literally was like, when you asked me about it, I was like, oh fuck, I'm going to fuck this story. It was an alien and she's kidnapped and she's like really angry and stuff.
I'll be the first to buy the book.
Yeah.
Oh, I really can't wait. Like I think like I wanted to rush. I was trying to rush and get it out for the album launch. Then I was like, no, I need to really think about this here. Like I don't want to rush this. I want it to be an incredible story. I want the story to be there, and I want to put the time into the artwork.
Hell yeah, take your time on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Get it how you want it and not how someone else wants it to be in order to fit their timeline. Like, this is such a magic idea.
Yeah, so I feel that's exciting for me. Like, I'm buzzing about it.
Hell yeah. And we're buzzing to not only see you at the Heavy Musicals, but to see you at Slam Dunk Festival as well. And in terms of like Nuala and the Vukovi set list, I mean, like, you got quite a healthy selection of songs to choose from these days. No. And I mean, like, has there been many disputes between you and Hamish in terms of what should and shouldn't be in the set list?
Honestly, I wish I could be like, we've split up and all that for a week because of it, but no, like genuinely, like we're just like we just know what works in a crowd situation, and again, like if I feel strongly about something, you were like, okay, let's do it. Vice versa, like it's
sick.
I think we're just so comfortable with each other, and we trust each other so much now that
you've got a few warm-up shows before Slam Dunk, haven't you?
Oh yeah, we're doing like, I actually think they might all be sold out now. I'm not sure.
We have had I don't know if you can see the fancy little ticker that's going across the bottom.
Enter Shikari, Enter Shikari, Enter Shikari.
But you're in the you're in the middle bit because I think I put them in date order, but your warm-up shows were in there. And when I went on your website earlier, I don't know if they were all sold out or whether there might be a couple of tickets.
I think
left.
we're waiting on an update, but I think there might be like 10 left from Mountain Keynes. And maybe I don't know.
In the YouTube chat, Bruce and Charlie are watching, and they say best fucking band ever. And also,
Bruce and Charlie? I know these people. Is that my pals, Bruce and Charlie?
Well, they said they'll be at the Norwich show, and will there be a meet and greet?
Oh, that's not my pals, but hi. Bruce. Two of my best friends are called Bruce and Charlie. That's so random. I was like, what are they doing? Not these guys that I've just commented, obviously. There isn't going to be a meet and greet, unfortunately. We've just never really done meet and greets, and I'm going to be honest. We've got 6 shows in a row, and I just want to try and save my voice. And I think I'll be quite stressed that week because it's going to be a very intense week for us.
Yeah.
So I want to try and like rest as much as possible and not like get absolutely steaming every night.
Especially when you've got Wembley that week. Like, is that your first time?
Yeah, it is actually.
Featuring Scene Queen.
What is that? I mean, that's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, just as if opening up the Slam Dunk main stage on the weekend wasn't big enough. Just got to warm up Wembley first.
Aye.
Oh, so there we go. Look at the bottom of the screen now. There you are, Vukovi.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm so buzzing for those shows, like genuinely, because I think like the album's been out for a period of time, and I think people will be way more attached to it. So yeah, I'm really excited to play those shows, and we do need the warm up.
No, you don't. Like, you guys can walk out on stage and just smash it in your sleep if you wanted to. Like, I saw you at 2000 Trees Festival.
Oh, you introduced us
on stage with a bottle of vodka raw in one hand, no mixer required. Like, you had one can of Red Bull on the side of the stage that I think you kicked over on your way onto the stage. That was your one, like, your mixer to alcohol ratio was so brave. And like the mixer went out the window, and there's you, like, just stood. I've got this great video on my phone of you just stood front of stage, like telling the crowd just to get their energy in order. And then it's like one big swig, song starts. Like,
was that Mr. Fridge?
Shit.
Was that Mr. Fridge show?
Yeah, it was.
He turned
Mr.
up.
Fridge.
He definitely got crowd surfed against his will. Like, he did not consent to getting crowd surfed.
Because you rallied. You were like, everyone get around Mr. Fridge.
Oh my God. That's one of the most surreal moments in my life, because I genuinely, when I saw Mr. Fridge the first time on the main stage,
yeah,
when we played 2000 Trees, and I saw a fridge, and I was like, am I finally having a breakdown? Is this?
Am I
this is,
tripping balls right now?
I'm dying because I just couldn't understand. I really couldn't compute why there was a fucking fridge in the crowd. It looked so real. It looked like a real fridge.
Well, he taped actual produce onto himself.
He's got like bird's eye peas and things and all that. Like, so I think I had to stop the gig, and I was like,
but then you got like a
Is
circle.
anyone else seeing the
everyone
fucking
can
fridge?
see this,
Did
and
you get a
that's
circle
fridge.
pit around him in the middle?
I was like, get the fucking. It was class. They had like you had these like fridge bodyguards. Like, you know how you get like the pit gatekeepers, the guys. There's always a couple of cunts in the pit when they're just like, this is their moment to shine, which I fucking love because I think folk out of class, but they're like proper protecting the fridge from getting it taken out.
Protect the fridge at all costs.
Protect them at all costs. Yeah.
Yeah, because that trees performance was the last time that I saw you, and
Oh, right, okay. I was like, you meant aye.
yeah,
That was very special.
Because that was the return of the fridge the last time you played. Because you headlined
not the Axum. It was the other one, the one that's
the new stage, was it?
I think it was the
Trees?
new stage.
Yeah.
We headlined. Yeah, that was the last time we played Trees, and that's the one you introduced us.
It was
John.
indeed. Thank you for that as well. All right, do you know what? I'm gonna let you in on something. Like when I'm DJing, don't tend to get nervous. Like I did like Boardmasters Festival and did like the Silent Disco. That was the biggest stage I've ever been on. Didn't really have many nerves. For some reason, I was so fucking nervous going to introduce you. Yeah, going to introduce you on stage. For like my brain was going, yeah, but what if you forget how to talk? And I was like,
what
Introducing
for a living.
Kavovi. Oh, no.
Aye, what can you? Fucking.
But I was like, as long as I get in there, here we fucking go. They won't eat me alive. So I was like, all right.
They don't give a shit. That show was so special for us. Like the energy before we even went on stage, like you could just feel this.
It was electric.
I feel like you're like now one of the like Trees like favorite bands. Like every time you go back, I feel like your crowds just get bigger and bigger. Or
Oh,
more
it's
insane.
just mad. Like we've got so many people. Like, how are you not playing this year? It's like because we've played it for the past fucking like I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We've had our residency.
We need a wee break. We'll come back next year.
Can't
Better
miss
be
us if we don't
getting
go away.
I'm telling you now, we're not playing it unless we're getting a main stage.
Hell yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's what
Our agent's gone like that. Is that right?
Listen,
Aye.
Jay,
On the short stream.
We'll hold Trees hostage until then. It's like, look, if you want the goods, you got to fucking pay for them.
I don't know, man. It'd be nice to headline a bigger stage. A bigger tent,
reckon
sorry.
you could do-
A bigger tent. I think tents are better.
yeah.
Tents are class.
Tents do have that Sweatfest vibe about them.
Yeah,
I will give
I
them
take
that.
that back. We'll definitely open up with. We'll be happy to discuss like a headline in one of the bigger tents.
Hell yeah. Well, Janine, before we get out of here, is there anything that you want to tell anyone watching right now? Any of the Vukovi fans? Is there anything that you just want to say to your fan base?
I don't. I just get really like flustered when I get asked these things because I just like. I don't know. Our fan base is everything. Like there's no Vukovi with no fan base. So they're the people that make us believe in ourselves. And I hope that what we do is inspiring to them to do what you love, and believe in yourself, and it always gets better. Yeah, and I think like I feel like once we drop some new music, like that's it.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I don't know, but at that I'm like, that's it. Oh, then you're like, but what does that mean? I'm like, that's it. what does that mean, Janine? I'm like, that's it.
That's it.
You know what that means.
No, we're all go. New team, new label, and we just want to step it up, and yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, Connie Davis in the chat says, we love you, Janine, and that echoes
Oh,
a statement
thanks.
that we've heard as well. We do indeed love you,
We
Janine.
love you, Janine.
We really do.
No, I fucking love you guys. Like honestly, see, every time you interview us, John, at fucking any festival, it's just an absolute bomb scare. Like we don't even talk about anything. We just fucking talk shite and laugh, and
One of my favourite memories, I don't know if you remember this, we did some press at Slam Dunk with each other. I just tore my Achilles at the Heavy Music Awards, and it was me, you and Hamish sat on that sofa, and we were like 3 of us crammed into a sofa that was way too small for 3 people, but all 3 of us were sat there, and like the interview just went off the tracks at one point, and we were all just laughing and joking, and you went to say something, and you were holding a can of Red Bull, and you thought it was the microphone, and you spoke a whole sentence into the can of Red Bull, and like it floored me and Hamish. I just feel
Is this
like
thing on? Is this thing on?
I just feel like that's the beauty of like you as a human being. Like you can just instantly like make people feel just like so safe, so happy, and enjoying life.
I love that. Jon, I'm going to start greeting. I'm quite emotional today.
I mentioned before, remember the first time we did a takeover with you on Scuzz? The outtake reel. I wish I had it. It's somewhere in a vault somewhere.
I would fucking love to see that. But we've never done a TV appearance in our lives, and we've got this team of guys and like directors telling us what to do, and I'm like, can I swear?
There must have been like half an hour of outtakes.
I remember one guy was like, I'm raging. Do you know what I mean? He's like because he's not better today than listening to us talking shite and fucking up. Anyway,
well,
yours probably me.
Janine, thank you ever so much for your time today, my friend. We can't thank you.
No worries. Congrats on the new show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a guest on. This is the very first one.
The debut show. So you're
like, and honestly, I love the Forever Loud.
Oh, thank you.
Like, you know your shit, and I just think it's a great coverage. It's great coverage.
Thank you.
You're making me emotional now.
We'll all cry together at Slam Dunk.
I know, man. What we like? Aye, right. Well, I'll see you at HMAs.
Hell yeah, you will. My friends, one time make some noise for Janine from Vukovi.
Bye. Did I just hang up now? What did I do?
Yeah, that's it.
We'll transition.
Yeah, we'll transition you. But thank you so much,
you.
Janine.
Bye.
Thank you, my friend. Take care. Oh my days, my friends. What a soul. Like Janine is such a one-on-one character. Like the music industry is a better place for people.
Yeah,
like
she's
Janine.
Just real, like Rou was as well. It's like they're just real people,
human beings.
And they make great music.
Yeah, they fucking do. Holy shit. Ollie, what a fucking show this has been, man. Like, it's gone by in the blink of an eye. My friends are down to our
If you have stayed with
minutes.
us so far, thank you so much.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, we can't tell you how much we appreciate it. And this could be happening every Monday and Thursday. Like, it's your new home if you're into music at all. And like today's been very rock music heavy. We're not going to be afraid of talking about any genres. Like, we'll talk about anything and everything. The lineup of guests we're going to have on, we're not just going to have people in bands in the future. We're going to have people from the music industry on, like, you know, managers, PRs, record labels, like that kind of stuff. I think
part of this show is we want to, like, if you're into music or you're a musician or anything like that and you want to know what happened or like how people get into the industry or like just good advice going forward, we want to like showcase how they do it, like people in that know their stuff to talk about what they do, and like hopefully it will inspire you to follow their footsteps.
And you know, trying to talk to good people, because the world needs more good people being platformed, having good conversations, and that's what we're endeavouring to do. And we'll be catalysts to the good people. We'll bring the good people to you. All you got to do is just turn up and watch, and
make sure you like and subscribe and all that jazz. Hit the notification button and
do that shit. Well, Ollie, before we get out of here, we got one last thing to do, my friend. We got to react to something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we fucking do. Right, my friends.
This is when we get demonetized from YouTube.
Yeah, this is probably where the back end of the stream really lets us down a little bit in terms of demonetization. But it's something that we were going to do from the get-go. We always wanted to have reactions being a part of this. We wanted to be breaking down the latest and greatest tunes as they come out.
And it's not, I mean, this song's been out for a few days, but it's good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've listened to it.
Yeah.
So it's not a live reaction.
It's not a live reaction. Like you can't give me a brand new Bring Me the Horizon song on Thursday and expect me not to listen to it until Monday. Like I'm gonna be honest, when this song dropped on Thursday, I went to the gym Thursday night and I listened to this song on repeat for a straight hour.
Yeah.
For a straight hour, and it didn't get boring.
Yeah, I've probably listened to it, not as much as that, but we're gonna do a reaction to it anyway.
The brand new Bring Me the Horizon single, Lost, came into our lives on Thursday.
I put out the start of the video.
Yeah.
It's a bit too graphic.
Yeah. So just holding that there, my friends. Like, in terms
What
of...
a screenshot to stop on. Joe. Lovely stuff.
Oh, I know how to pick them. So the start of that song, instantly, a lot of people said pop punk. A lot of people said that opening riff, like, it felt very, almost like neck deepy kind of.
Yeah, it's got the backbeats very like hyper pop, like it's got the electronic-y bit, but yeah, melody wise, very pop punk.
Yeah, and it's the synths for me, like throughout this entire song. And over the weekend, someone tweeted saying, shout out to Jordan Fish on production, and Jordan actually replied to that tweet saying that Ollie Sykes doesn't get enough credit for producing the Bring Me the Horizon songs as he should do. And it feels to me that if you've ever seen that behind the scenes video of them making some of the tunes on Posthuman, and there's a bit where Ollie was like, I want an elephant sample.
But the thing is, like, he'll be like, I want this sound. Jordan, can you create it?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden this elephant sounds in teardrops, and you don't even know it's an elephant until it gets pointed out to you, and you're like, that's quite clearly an elephant, but it actually sounds like an instrument. And it's ideas like that. I always find that great music is finding sounds that no one's ever heard and arranging them in a way.
The great Rick Rubin, one of the biggest producers ever, he's done like Eminem, he's done like Jay-Z, did like Beastie Boys, so many massive albums.
His idea was to start 99 Problems
like,
a cappella.
He's not the greatest engineer, mixer, producer, but he has the ideas so that will go into the song. He's the one that came up with, to start off with the 99 Problems.
The a cappella.
A cappella. So he'll come up with that idea and then they'll do it, and it's like, that wouldn't have happened without his brain. But then it's like, I feel like Ollie's that sort of person who's like, I want this. Can you make that happen?
Yeah, 100%. And like,
and also his voice has got so much better over the years.
Oh, genuinely. Like, I think is it Melissa, the vocal coach that Ollie's worked quite close with, and like a good few people like Caleb from Beartooth. And like, you look at the development of Ollie's voice since... I'd say since Drown to now, obviously Drown being the first clean sung Bring Me the Horizon song, all the way through to now. And like, throughout the course of this reaction, just listen to Ollie's vocal range. Nice touch on the rocking horse there after that line.
My ego is not my amigo.
What a fucking bar.
Shout out to the wordplay.
Again, though, like, I've said this about Bring Me the Horizon so much over the years, like Ollie's ability to find metaphors within stuff and make them like hooks that, like, you know, like saying, for example, like the whole like drowning your demons thing. I can't drown my demons because they know how to swim. What a bar.
My thing about Bring Me the Horizon is, even when they were like deathcore or whatever you want to call it back in the day, they still had hooks in their music. It's like Ollie's always been good at writing hooks, whether it's like a bit before a breakdown or like a big, like, I remember Ari, They Have No Reflections. I Hate All My Friends. That's a hook.
Yeah.
And that was 10 years ago, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, not 2005, something like that. But yeah, he's always just been good at writing hooks, and like over the years it's just developed from that sort of music to pop hooks, and they write better pop hooks than most pop artists.
Dude, 100%. And then when you have that ability of lyricism and you combine it with like the production knowledge of someone like Jordan Fish, you can construct all of these like wonderfully intricate melodies. Because like one of my favorite Bring Me creations is, you know, that EP, which is like songs to move to, dance to, and like all the other things to do music to. Yeah. Like some of the sounds that were on that record, obviously it was like a co-work between Ollie and Jordan, and like the sounds that they created on there and the way in which they like transition melodies into beats and stuff, it feels so simple when you're listening to it, but in order to make something like that, it's so fucking complicated.
Yeah,
like to anyone who's never had to like, you know, program midis or like go through and like work out harmonies, like that process isn't fucking easy unless you're born with like perfect pitch.
Yeah, should we get back into it?
Yeah, boy.
Don't belong on this planet. Red crescent moons all over my hands. It's too much to take, I can't understand it. So
this chorus.
tell me.
So MCR, isn't it?
Dude.
I love it.
Breaking down that chorus for just a second, my friends. Like, as we said in the trailer to this show, we were in the room when Bring Me dropped Strangers for the first time.
Yep.
And before they played the song, Ollie just went, here's the chorus. We're just a room full of strangers looking for someone to save us. Taught them that, right? Played the song for the first time. Every single motherfucker in that room sung that chorus back as if it had been their favorite song for the last 3 months. Like, that is the power.
It's an earworm, isn't it? It's like you can hear it for once and be like, I know.
Got it. And it's the same with that chorus. Like, I remember when I first heard that clip, like I tweeted it. I was like, why am I this way? It's so powerful.
Also, his voice sounds so good on that chorus.
Yeah.
Just when it breaks, when it's like, way.
Yeah.
So just that little bit in his voice that's like, it's so, you can feel like he's meaning what he's saying. It's not just like a throwaway pop chorus.
Yeah, man. And I said it on Posthuman. I did a reaction video to Posthuman that is actually available to watch on the Jon Mahon Show YouTube channel. And when I was breaking down Teardrops, the first thing I said about that song was that vocal run of where Ollie's like, so how'd you get it? Sorry, no, how we stressed out, paranoid. It's like that vocal run, like where most bands might just stick to like the same pattern of 3 notes. It's like he's going up and down a scale like it's nothing, but you feel it in your soul when those melodies accompany the music so well. Going into a big chorus, it just provides that perfect little tee up for the chorus to hit you out the park.
Yeah. Well, I think this one is like up there with one of my favorites. I think
Same.
I think out even from Die For You and Strangers, I think this for me tops that.
Yeah, for sure. It's my favorite out of the 3 new ones, and like it's on course to be one of my favorite Bring Me songs. Yeah. Verse 2. I love the theatre in the music video as well. Like,
definitely gonna have to blur this.
The music video feels like a film in and of itself.
Directed by Ollie as well.
Yeah. I love that bar. Next time I open up to someone, it'll be my autopsy. My friends, fuck with this chorus all summer long.
I imagine this is going to be in your sets for a while.
Well, I've already played it. I dropped it at Face Down on Friday. Like, literally the first opportunity I got. Like, the crowd went off. Right. Before we get into what is a middle A, most bands would call this. For me, this isn't a middle A. This is a build to a drop.
But this was so when it first starts building up, you're like, oh, it's might go into some like dancey little bit. And then they hit you with a fucking
breakdown.
glitchy breakdown, which works somehow, but it's like dancey heavy breakdown.
So this is my forte through and through, my friends, and like you'll come to know this on this show. I'm a massive fucking dance music lover. It's one of my favorite genres, and over the last couple of years especially, I've been heavily into artists like Elenium and like where this inspiration for me comes from in this build and drop. This feels like 2 dance producers for me through and through. First is like 100 Gex. 100 Gex love like big kick drums and like really sort of in your face offensive sounding synths, but combine that with a producer like Porter Robinson, who more enjoys like the intricate details and, as you very correctly pointed out, the choppy style vocals and the synths and using the vocoders. And like that's exactly what you can hear in this build. As Ollie just said, it's the vocal chops, it's the synths, and that builds like a dance tune. And then when you think, as Ollie said, you're going to get a drop of a dance tune, bang, there's a fucking breakdown. Are you ready?
If you haven't heard this for the first time, then how have you been?
Yeah, genuinely.
Right.
and a scream in there. So before we get into that, like as I said, man, like the perfect build and drop. If that was a dance music change, like if Elenium had produced that would sound amazing on his album. Like Elenium's done features with like I Prevail and like
Spirit
Box on Shivering. Motionless in White is on the new Elenium album as well. And like that sound right there would sound totally fine on one of his records. But the fact that this on a Bring Me the Horizon song, so there's some screams on the drop. There's obviously like the stabby guitars that Lee's obviously brought to the table. Like, this is gonna fucking go off live, this song. Like, I think for the majority of us, the first time we'll hear this song live will probably be Download Festival, won't it?
Yeah, and that, I can't wait. Just like Connie in the chat, bring on Download, like, because you know Bring Me aren't just going to do the same set or same like production they've done like previously. They're going to do something special for this year.
100%. And I was fortunate enough to see Bring Me the Horizon in Amsterdam earlier on this year on their European tour with the Day to Remember. And one thing I will say as a takeaway from that set, like I've tried to like keep sort of quiet about talking about that set, because obviously watching it live I was like, there's a couple of things that are probably going to be at Download here and I don't want to ruin it for everyone. But one thing I will say is during that set,
big country and western number, isn't it?
Massive country and western number. Yeah, like they're going full Luke Combs on you. I'm absolutely kidding. There was a lot of screaming from Ollie, but I'm talking the full range of screaming, like gutturals, pig squeals, as well as like the false fold distortion.
He's definitely still got it. We saw him in Malta last year when he did the throwback set, and yeah, that's just full on screaming.
Yeah,
for an hour, and he's still got it. Boy, has he got it.
Boy, has he got it. And going into the end of this song, my friends, two things I want to point out. Firstly, this dip where the instruments come out, just Ollie's voice. I love this as a production element going into a chorus. I just love it. There's something about ducking out the rest of the instruments, giving the singer that one hook and that one bar.
This bit is End of Helena by MCR. To me, it gives me that same vibe.
Yeah.
Like, it's the chorus, but just like Jared on his own, but yeah, it's got that vibes.
Yeah, man. And then my second thing that I want you to notice is the beat, how the beat flips in this last chorus. So like it's more break beaty for the first verse, for the first part of the chorus, and then after they're done singing the first part of the chorus, they double it up and double time it. I love that as well. Like, shout out Dave from Mallory Knox. He was the king of doing this in Mallory Knox songs. Like, he'd compliment Mikey's voice so perfectly, where like they duck out the instruments, have Mikey have his moment, then Dave would come in with the halftime drums, and then powering it up into the second half of the song. They double time it, and it's like a bit of like inadvertent energy, like subliminal energy that drums can provide as an instrument. And like this will show you exactly what I mean. See what I mean, man? And then, ready for the double time.
That's a very pop one.
Mate. And also, as a final note, shout out the last line of that chorus as well. What the hell is fucking wrong with me? Yeah. Like, to anyone who's ever been in that situation in your life where you are asking yourself that question, that line hits hard on so many different levels.
The thing is, it's genuine. If you weren't listening to the lyrics, you'd be like, oh, it's quite an upbeat, happy song, but it is very sort of emo vibes.
Yeah, man. As a 21 Pilots fan, like, I'm very well accustomed to very happy sounding melodies with the most like intense lyrics known to man. But
overall, 10 out of 10 banger for me. Maybe 9 out of 10.
Oh, I'm going 11 out of 10, bro. Like, I like
11 out of 10.
genuinely like so addictive, that song. And as I said, like it came out on Thursday last week. I DJ'd at Face Down in London on Friday, the UK's biggest alternative club night. And
Shout out Face Down.
Shout out Face Down. And I was DJing 1:30 till 2:30. I probably lost 2:15 maybe. Every single fucking person in that room moved, and every single person sang as well.
Yeah.
It was like,
I feel like it's an instant classic.
it was a release, like an instant release of people being like, I want to hear this on a PA system blasting out as loud as possible. Like let it wave all over me.
Yeah. What a band, what a song, and what a show we've had today, John.
Hell yeah. Like, one last note on Bring Me the Horizon, my friends. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I honestly think
you're
Bring
alive,
Me...
then you better off dead. That is a Bring Me the Horizon lyric, if you didn't know that.
Nice reference. I think Bring Me are going to drop the greatest download festival headline set of all time this summer.
You heard it here first
Yep.
from Jon Mahon.
Yep.
Best download set ever. So if it's not, then they've let you down.
Yeah, I'll see you the Monday after download where I'll sit
in the
here,
pit,
look
man.
really smug and go, I told you. I fucking told you.
I'll see you in the fucking pit.
Yeah, but
I'll be in the pit, but just
like Pit Marshall.
I'm gonna say in the pit, but just at the back, arms crossed, nodding.
Yeah.
Probably by the sound desk because I like that's where the
You
sound.
do like a sound desk guy.
I'm an old fucking. You know.
Anyway, my friends, thank you ever so much for watching over the last 2 hours. This is the first of many shows to come. A massive thank you to our guest today, our first ever guest, Rou Reynolds from Enter Shikari. Massive shout out to that band. Massive shout out to their #1 album, A Kiss of the Whole World. Thank you ever so much to Janine from Vukovi for joining us in hour 2. Don't forget that Vukovi are going to be performing at the Heavy Music Awards this year, where they're up for 5 awards. You can still get tickets for the Heavy Music Awards if you so wish to do so. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Slam Dunk Festival. If you wanted to go and you don't have a ticket, options aren't looking very likely because it has sold out. But
Unless you carry on watching this show, where we may or may not have some sort of ticket giveaway at some point in the future.
yeah, but more on that down the line. But there's one last thank you I want to do, and he's not expecting this. I want to say the most almighty thank you to this man right here, because everything that you've seen on today's show aesthetically, from our graphics, from how this thing sounds to how it looks, has all been because of this man right here. I came to Ollie with an idea in my head and I said, I've got the idea, I just don't know how to make it work.
And I said, John, it's going to cost you.
He actually did, and it fucking has. But honestly, this has been so much fun. It's been the best shit. And honestly, bro, there's no one I'd rather do this with than you. So thank you so much for not telling me to get fucked on this stupid idea.
See, the whole dynamic of this show is I'm sort of the dry, sarcastic, miserable one. But it's been nice.
Hell yeah.
I don't get too worked up about anything.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you have stayed with us for the last 2 hours,
Yeah.
like, massive thank you.
Yeah.
This is our first show. I wasn't expecting anyone really to watch because I'm a pessimistic fuck. But it's been great, and hopefully see you on the next shows.
Yeah. On this Thursday's show, we're working on the guests, so keep your eyes peeled on our social media for the guest announcement for Thursday. But one thing we can confirm right now is that we are going to be giving away. There we go. One sec. I'll stand up. Let's get the clothes cam on. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. We're going to be giving away some jewellery courtesy of our boy Parabellum. So make sure you come and join us this Thursday. Details about the Enter Shikari vinyl giveaway will be on our social media page either tonight or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow now. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. But
Yeah. Should we have? We haven't really got any like sort of catchphrase for the show.
I've got a
though.
sign off. I
I
do have a sign off. All that's left for me to say, my friends, is my name's Jon Mahon. Peace and love. Stay alive. And we'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.